Hey folks, Stephen here, and this week we'll be making our way through the arteries of Vancouver and maybe even finding out where the city began. Taking us on this journey is one of the city's hottest agents. It's time for Realtors. Buckle up folks, because we're about to go on one wild ride with family man Casey Reynolds. We'll be starting our journey in the charming neighbourhood of Grandview Woodland and cruising around the outskirts of Vancouver like a boss, all before we even get our morning coffee, because what's a road trip without caffeine, right? Next stop is the wonderfully named Slidey Slides Park. We're not just talking about the slides either, you'll see what we mean. And finally, we'll be heading over to East Vancouver, where Casey has a property listing he wants to show us. So let's get this show on the road. Alrighty, so would you like to introduce yourself to the masses?
Yeah, hey guys, my name is Casey Reynolds from Oakland Realty downtown Vancouver. We're just in Renfrew today. We're gonna drive through, gonna show you some of my favorite spots.
Let's go. We've been through other parts of the city, like downtown, and we've been down by Cambie and Broadway. This is a different kind of vibe. This is a different kind of home for people, I guess.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is sort of like the final frontier if you want to be in Vancouver, because the next area is going to be Burnaby. So for us, it's like there's boundary that runs basically north to south. So it's a big border from Vancouver to Burnaby. So for me, it's sort of like you're still in Vancouver proper.
I love that, Vancouver proper.
Yeah. You know, affordability's tough, so everyone keeps on moving east. I think this area is pretty, I wouldn't use the word affordable.
But I feel affordable is relative when we're talking about Vancouver anyway.
Yeah, but it's sort of, if you want to get a detached, like a detached home in this area would probably be your best bet, okay. Price-wise.
And price point, like roughly what we kind of talking about?
Yeah, so this area, like entry level is going to be 1.6. That's what you're looking at to kind of just get in. Yeah. Like if you're going to do it, you're going to want to be in Vancouver, and you want a detached home, that's, unfortunately that's sort of the starting point.
Which I think is a really important thing as well. It's like when we're talking entry, we're not talking very first home. We're talking like entry into kind of an end point of the market.
It's not a cheap city, so if you're a tech worker, you're going to be, moving up, you're going to get raises. Hopefully you've got the spouse, so you've got two incomes, right? True. So you put it together, and every time that you guys get a raise, every time there's, you get a new job, I always tell my clients, this is your opportunity to upgrade. But another key is that if it's your principal residence, there's no capital gains. So what I mean by that is that you can keep on upgrading, and the tax man can never sit there and take that money from you, as long as it's your principal residence. So it's like one of the biggest tax havens that we have.
So if you were to buy a place that, and all these houses here, they seem quite big and quite spacious. Yeah. You could potentially rent out a room.
Typically what you're gonna do is you're gonna rent out the basement. I think you could easily get $1,600 and it would just kind of go up from there.
So where are we at the moment, Casey?
We're just kind of cruising on East Georgia here in the Renfrew area. Again, really close to Boundary Road, close to the P&E, close to the #1 highway, close to Second Narrows Bridge.
It is very pretty here as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the trees make it gorgeous. Obviously, these trees have been here for many, many, many years.
And also, from someone who's currently living in downtown Vancouver, it's so quiet. Is there much kind of amenities, facilities, shops?
There's this little grocery store that's just up the road, this little guy right here, which is just fantastic. Sick. Yeah, they've got everything you can think of.
See, something we haven't talked about, but is evident from being on the street there, public transport's obviously quite good.
Yeah, so right behind us here is called the Kootenay Loop, which is like a little station. So you can get downtown, you can go out east. For people that don't want to drive and just save some money and just jump on the public transit, Kootenay Loop's a perfect place to do that at. Yeah, we're just from Renfrew. It's like a favorite little small coffee shop. Makes good coffee, local owner.
Makes great coffee. So we talked a lot about the neighbourhoods case, but I'm a little bit more interested in you.
Right.
You as a person.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into
what makes this guy tick?
the heart of it.
Right.
So yeah, what did stoke your interest in real estate?
There's two instances that happened. Probably the one that sticks out in my mind was I was working at Cactus Club on the island, and around Friday, around 2 or 3, all these sharp dressed guys and girls would come in with all these beautiful cars, and I was like watching these guys, and they would all be around the bar, and it created this commotion, and they were talking and laughing and joking around, and I would be looking up, and I'm like, what do these guys do? Like, what are they all about? And some of the guys are like, oh yeah, these guys are realtors. That was the first thing that kind of got in my head. It was never about selling anything. And then as the years went by, you would do different things throughout. You were trying different things throughout your life. And then people kept on saying to you, you know what, Casey, you would be a good realtor. So I heard it quite a few times. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put my hat and put it in the ring. Having said that, I know we touched upon this before. That ring is super competitive too. Yeah. We're at about 14,000 plus realtors, Greater Vancouver area. And the statistic that's out there is that if someone were to get their license, only 13% of those people will still be around in 2 years. So it's one of those businesses that is super competitive. But I've played competitive sports all my life. So
you were ready for it.
So I was like, okay, let's do this.
Because there is another statistic that is, as a realtor, you tend not to make a lot of money for your first 6 months to a year.
I would say, one of the things I would say is if any of your viewers are thinking about becoming a realtor, you gotta have, I would put 6-8 months worth of living expenses aside.
Wow.
Because you're gonna need it. You need to be like the jack of all trades.
Yeah.
You need to be doing a lot of things really well.
Why don't we go for a walk by that park you were telling me about earlier that you like to go with your son?
Sure, yeah.
Amazing. This place is somewhere you spoke about, and it's somewhere you bring your son to, right?
I mean, it's Empire Fields, but it also has this cool park called the Slidey Slide. Living close by it is kind of exciting. All the kids are so excited to come here, and nice little racetrack. Sometimes in the morning I'll come out, quick little 4K, 5K. I mean, my son is all about parks, right? He loves parks. So you asked me about where all the parks are. I know where they all are.
That's the kind of transition of to fatherhood. You used to know where all the bars were, all the nightclubs, and now you're like, all the parks, where's the best slides?
That's the thing too, is like being a realtor is, you change your perspective, right? You go from first-time home buyer to families. So that's sort of a different product, right? The first-time home buyer is looking at a studio or 1 bedroom, but that, the family, he's looking for a townhouse, or he's looking for a house, right? So you're growing with your clients.
So this is like the arteries of the city.
Yes.
Why did you choose to live here over anywhere else?
Well, I think that's awesome. I love this.
That's why, right there. Yeah. How many places have you got a roller coaster?
Close by your house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Casey, we have driven around this neighborhood, and it nearly feels sacrilegious to ask the question having seen everything. But why did you choose here as a place that you want to settle?
I just wanted to stay in Vancouver proper. I think, living downtown Vancouver is amazing, but at some point, you kind of, you get out of wanting to go to the pubs and the bars, and it's like your next step. So you're like, well, let's try a townhouse, but let's not get too far away from the city.
Which is one of the reasons that you want to show us the property you're showing us today, to talk through a little bit about that, right?
Yeah, I'm super excited about this one. I think this is one of these properties where you can have your cake and eat it too.
I love having cake and eating it.
It's gonna be brand new, and I don't think our viewers really have seen this property. It's not something that's super common, but more importantly is kind of the rental income that you can get from this type of property. For being in Vancouver and the affordability, I think a lot of your viewers are going to love this.
Amazing. Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's go see it. So here we are at our property. Casey, take it away.
So this is a really, really great property because you've got the 2 legal rental suites. You're going to see a 2-bedroom suite in the basement, and you're also going to see a laneway. What does that do? When you go into the bank, they're going to lend you a lot more because you have that rental income possibility. Now, I say possibility because if you don't want to rent it out, you don't have to, but the bank is going to identify that and lend you a lot more. So you get a little bit more buying power. Now, if we talk about the rent that you can expect from these 2 units, I'd say on the low end, about $3,500. On the high end, you might get $4,000. So it really takes a massive chunk out of your mortgage payment. This one's brand new, just built in 2022. Super excited to show you guys. Let's go take a look.
So one of the other things is obviously multiple bedrooms.
Multiple bedrooms, multiple baths. So the great thing is you can definitely have a growing family.
Yeah, because also one of these bedrooms, you know, an office for a while is great. Everyone's working from home these days.
Great point. Now this house has another room downstairs, which I think will make an amazing office, or you can make it another bedroom. You got this big window, makes it for a great little office. And of course you got your AC. Yes, this is crucial. You gotta have the AC. Even when I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking, I can kind of see everywhere. So what I envision in this area is you wanna be close to the fireplace. You got a nice rug. We have a designated area for the dining room. The colors of this is neutral. If we get the blue or we get some bright colors, it's really gonna pop. The other thing too is you could put the bar stools, 3 bar stools right along here. And what I love about this is you could be in the kitchen cooking away, or you could be sitting there. And what I would put is a nice big 65-inch TV here. Right, you can get some seating in here. And this is great because it's private.
This is a laneway one, and this is most common to this kind of area, right?
Yeah, this is a really good laneway because something that can happen, guys, is that you can get a laneway where they designate a parking stall, where this one is just a laneway, so it's a lot bigger than you usually get.
In theory, you could rent this property out in its entirety.
You could do, 6 months, you could do month to month, you could do a year lease, or else you can Airbnb it. So the flexibility is there. Okay, so now we're gonna go down to the 2-bedroom legal suite. This is kind of what distinguishes it from other properties, is because of the rental income that you can get. So here's a 2-bedroom, right? You got bedrooms on either side. Typically the kitchen is gonna be an afterthought with developers.
I think this kitchen might be nicer than my kitchen.
The developer did a great job. They haven't wasted any money. They're continuing the high quality all the way down to the suites. So what does that mean to you, the homeowner? You're gonna be able to get even more rent because people really like to have these nice touches. So it's gonna get even more rental income.
Amazing, and I believe we have one more that we're gonna see.
We're gonna go in the back and we're gonna check out the laneway.
Let's go.
Okay, let's do it.
So this is the 3rd registered address with this whole property.
Legal address, laneway. One of the big pluses for this is a corner unit, so you have the potential to have a few tenants here, but the parking is no problem because you're at the corner, so there's lots of extra parking stalls. So that's great. This laneway is amazing because it's one of the larger laneway homes. Sometimes you'll see this, there'll be a garage that's built in the laneway, but this one doesn't have the garage, so it's a bigger space, which means more rental income.
Which means less mortgage.
That's right. Let's go take a look, guys. So this is a bonus, right? So this is another little suite for the in-laws. You've got your own bathroom there, you've got your own sink. So this is perfect, separate entrance. I mean, hopefully you get along with your in-laws, but if you don't, this is perfect.
That brings us to the end of today's Real Tour. I am very excited to get on that roller coaster sometime soon. And it is so obvious why this neighborhood is so appealing and why you love it so much. Thank you so much for your time. Anything else to say before we go?
Just want to thank everyone for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you at the next video.
Fingers crossed. For most of my life, I've always felt that I was a city kid at heart. I'm someone who loves to be in the thick of the action. But a day with Casey has made me start to second guess myself. The open spaces, local coffee shops, and quieter pace of life is starting to call to me. And while I don't know if I'm quite ready to make the move just yet, East Vancouver might just be that soothing cup of tea we all need at the end of a hard night.